Hello. Welcome to
Monday with the Mavens.
Okay, guys, today we are going to be quick. We are talking about 10, maybe some bonus things that we can all do to shed fat in a healthy way by using nutrition strategically. We're super excited about it. It's probably like nothing super groundbreaking, but they're all things we should all be doing.
Let's not.
It's super groundbreaking
stuff, you guys. This is what the people want to know.
People want to know.
But first, we had a bunch of people write, and Emmy did a little preemptive questionnaire on our social and said, hey, send in your guys' ideas on what you think some of the top 10 ways are to drop fat. And so we put all of the
really, really great responses, you guys.
And actually a lot of them are on our list. Yeah. So, but we put...
It's like you guys have been listening. Like you know your stuff.
Yeah. So we put all of the names in this little bowl, and we are going to draw one out, and this person is going to win a prize. Do you know what the prize is?
Well, it depends on where you live. So if you live locally to Southern Oregon, then we're going to do, well, I guess we'll have to look it up. Then we're going to do a $10 gift card to Outsider. Just something fun and small.
Yeah. Outsider Coffee, if you don't know, we do a Maven mix of the month with them every single month, and it's super fun. We list all the macros. It's part of, it's just a little partnership that we love. So
it is. And then if you don't live locally, you can pick a coffee shop of your choice. We'll just Venmo you $10.
Yeah. And you can spend it on whatever you want.
Yeah, you can. And also, speaking of giveaways, you guys, our giveaway right now that we have going until Thursday of this week, it's over $500 worth of the most amazing stuff.
Let's talk about it real quick.
Yes.
The things are, we're going to give away our favorite food scale, you guys. It is tried and true, and both of us use the same one, and it is amazing. We're going to give away a box of Element electrolytes, a box of Built Bars of your choice, our favorite Stanley water bottle,
a Lily Eats and Tells cookbook of your choice, a $100 gift card to Velamos, which can be used online as well if you don't live in this area, a $100 Visa cash card, a bottle of Super Sleep, and a bottle of Mighty Metabolism.
Yeah, you guys.
It's so killer.
I want to win the prize.
I have this hair over here that I there we go. Maybe that fixed it. Maybe.
Do you guys see that? She does this. She takes her hands and then she twirls it underneath and gives it a press.
Yeah,
so that then it's like big.
Like Texas hair.
Yeah.
I think I was meant to live in Texas. Okay.
Anyway, back to it. Let's do it. Let's do the drawing. You guys, the winner of the $10 gift card of the good guesser is, it's our dear friend, Amanda Corson. You're the winner.
Yay, we'll reach out to you, and you do live locally, so you'll get a $10 Outsider gift card. So, and hopefully you'll watch this.
And also, you guys, for the rest of y'all's, we are doing little giveaways each week this month because it's our 2-year anniversary.
Not just little giveaways, like some rad
we're doing
stuff.
some big ones too. But it's Macro Mavens' 2-year birthday anniversary, whatever you want to call it, and we could not be more excited to share the love with you guys. So anyway, we are going to be giving away some good things and having a lot of fun this month. And March is just a special time.
It is.
It's good.
Question for you guys. We are doing tonight, we get to speak with a big group of like 12 to 18-year-old girls, which we're really excited about, really focusing on how to fuel your body and your brain for performance, for athletics, not being afraid of food, having food be your friend, kind of all of the things. We're thinking about filming it. Is that something that you guys would be interested in watching at a later date? Let us know. We'd love to know. You can add a comment, send us a message.
Let us
do it after the fact. But it is tonight, so.
Yeah, and we don't work with teenagers, like as far as like our practice goes. We don't work with teenagers, but we are really passionate about teaching our youngsters, I've never used that word, teaching our young kids how to use food to fuel their bodies, especially for performance and those who want to be athletes.
I wish so badly I would have had more knowledge as a teen. Because so many people, girls and boys, we're speaking with just females tonight, but so many youth, like they struggle with under-eating, with overeating, with binge eating, with eating in a way that has them feeling fatigued, not performing their best, all of the things. And there's some really simple things that even our teens can do. The biggest thing being not being afraid of food and knowing how they can use it as a tool. So anyways, we're excited. We're really honored to get to do that.
It's going to be great.
Okay, you guys.
Let's dive in.
10. We're going to make this, we're going to make this somewhat short and sweet today. We're just going to be like, right on down.
So get out your notebook and take some notes.
I would love to share that with my daughter. Wonderful.
Yay. Okay, great. Okay. And that's all we needed was one person. So we will Yep, we'll record it and figure out how to get it to the masses.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, 10 things you can do to help drop unwanted fat. Do you have that? To help drop unwanted fat, you guys, this is a little model. If you didn't watch our live last week, go over and watch it because it's all about fat versus muscle. This is a replica of 5 pounds of
only
fat.
5 pounds, you guys.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. And there are so many things that we can do. Like 5 pounds oftentimes is not that difficult for people to drop. But the problem is that they want to sustain it, right? Like most of us can do some pretty extreme things to drop 5 pounds here or there. But we really, really want it to be done in a healthy way that is sustainable. And most people have far more than 5 pounds of fat that if they shed, they are going to do themselves a huge favor from a longevity perspective, from a health perspective, from an energy perspective, from a hormone perspective, from every perspective.
Yeah. And this is, you guys, just to compare the two, this is a replica of 5 pounds of muscle. And so you can see that they weigh about the same, but they take up far different amounts of space. So anyway,
let's jump in.
Let's jump in.
Okay, guys, number 1.
Well, and our orders might be a little bit different because we are not the same person, you guys.
Well, and these are not in order of importance.
Okay, great.
Yeah, like at all. So, please note, this is not in order of importance. In fact, Haley was the note taker today. Not me.
You just put that on me.
No, like in a good way. Her notes are fantastic. And I was like, well, I don't need to take notes. She's already got them.
Okay, well, my number 1 is the top.
Okay, go for it.
I feel like it's most important.
Okay, go for it.
But then after number 1, then they're not in any particular order.
Okay.
So I think the number one way to drop fat and preserve muscle, because really that's what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Is to know what you're eating. If you don't know what you're eating, then how are you going to make adjustments to get you to your goals? So it's super simple. Yeah. Track your food, whether it is in an app, we use MyFitnessPal, or if it's writing it down in a journal. Knowing what you eat and how much fat, how many carbs, and how many grams of protein you're eating every day, and what that averages out to is knowledge, you guys. Yeah. Knowledge is power. If you don't know what you're eating, then you don't know what to shift and what to change. So number 1, most important, is figure out what you're eating and know it. Don't just guess. Don't just be like, well, I eat a lot of this or I eat a lot of that. Like,
most people, because we do have our new clients when they come in, we have them track 5 to 7 days of their food intake without changing anything. Most people are really, really surprised by what they're consuming. I was too.
I was really surprised.
I ate, which, their healthy fats are very important, but I ate predominantly fat. And I would not have thought that. I thought I ate fairly high protein, fairly balanced carbs and fat, but I loved nuts. I still do, like nuts and butter and avocados and guacamole.
She doesn't like avocado, you guys.
I like guacamole.
But she likes guacamole. Let me just be clear. That's why she stuttered, because liking guacamole is kind of new to her anyway.
I really like it too.
Yeah. Do you remember when you very first decided?
Yeah, up in Portland. Yeah. Girls trip.
We were on a girls trip and we went to this place that made this fresh guacamole at your table.
And so good.
She says that now because we forced her to open her mouth and eat some because you were like, I don't like it. And we were like,
it's a texture thing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. So back to number 1, simply the act of tracking your food. Now, a lot of people then don't know what to do with that data, and that's where a coach comes in clutch, you guys, because if you can use strategy to really understand what your body and your brain needs and shift that over time to get you to your goals, it is a game changer. And we're going to talk more about that. But just the knowledge of knowing, of looking at your own data for a day, 3 days, a week, whatever it may be, on average, how many calories are you consuming? And include all of your beverages because those add up super quick.
Real fast.
And on average, what does your natural macro breakdown look like? And it is quite possible it is very different from what it should be for what goals you're trying to achieve, especially if you're trying to achieve fat loss.
Yeah. It's probably also very likely that, wait a minute, if I sit right here, it's like the lamp is a hat.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It's on the Facebook side.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, squirrel. And most likely what you are eating is different than what you think you're eating. I was very similar to Emmy when I very first started tracking my food. If you would have said, Haley, what do you think your macro makeup of your food looks like in a week? And I'd say, you know what, I think I probably eat mostly protein and then some good healthy fats and not very many carbs. And when I actually tracked my food, I was eating like literally, you guys, like 80% of my calories was coming from fat. Yes, healthy fat, avocados, nuts, oils, like good healthy things. But it was like the majority of the food I was eating was coming from fats. And then I was eating more carbs than I thought, and I was eating some protein. And it really was a surprise to me. Yeah. Because I was like, no, you guys, I have been like a healthy, like health-focused person for years and years and years. And I didn't know. I thought I knew, and I didn't. And so then when I actually put the pedal to the metal and tracked it, I was like literally dumbfounded. I was like, whoa.
And let me just tell you guys, shifting her macros, like this girl, like not only did she get the aesthetic changes that she worked really hard for a long time and like just didn't come. I'm going to speak the same for me. But her progress in the gym was like so fun to watch. Girl is strong.
I feel strong. And honestly, like if you are chasing skinny, it's probably not really what you want. I think that a lot of people who chase skinny actually really want strong.
Yeah, strong and lean.
Yeah, because I thought I wanted skinny. And when I got strong, I was like, oh, I don't necessarily want skinny. I want strong and lean. And I want to be able to do the things that...
I want to feel good.
Yeah, I want to feel good. I want to be able to say yes at the drop of a hat to doing
any adventure.
Anything.
Which we do.
Any things.
Yeah. Okay, number 2. Okay, so the first one was to track your food and know what you are eating. It's like, it sounds simple, but you guys, most people don't actually know what they're eating.
It is super simple.
Number 2, this is huge. It's huge.
No, don't do that.
What?
Don't do that.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Nothing. Just don't do it.
Okay, I won't do it. It's big.
So, number 2 is very important, you guys.
Yes.
Going number 2 is very important, but that's later on the list. Okay. This is actually number 2 on the list.
Okay, it is prioritizing protein.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs the same amount of protein. Everybody has a different protein threshold. Depending on your goals will dictate the amount of protein that you need.
And your size.
And your size, absolutely. And not everybody can start, like you don't want to go from, if you're only eating 50 grams of protein a day, you're not going to want to jump to 100 or 120 or whatever the goal might be for your lean body mass overnight, because it will absolutely wreck your gut. But what you are going to want to do is start to recognize how much healthy protein are you getting. And just the act of increasing slowly and methodically your protein in relation to your total calories, just that alone is going to help with muscle preservation, with satiation. Satiation. That's a really hard one for me to do.
Or satiety.
Yes, satiety, much better. So it's going to help you feel more full. It's going to fuel your body and your brain. It's going to preserve your muscle, and it's going to take up a bigger portion of your calorie intake, which is going to help in the fat shedding process. Not to mention that if you preserve and or build muscle, which you need protein to be able to do, you will burn more calories at rest. Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things that people can change to start shedding fat more aggressively while preserving muscle is being aware of their protein intake. Now, this is why it's really important to work with somebody that knows what they're doing, is that there's a lot of formulas out there, including the one-time formulas on MyFitnessPal or some of these free apps, and they'll give you like a one-time eat this much. And the problem is that if you, that can work for a little bit of time, right? Like anything that you do consistently for a period of time, you're going to have some results. But if you're not shifting that over time, you're not going to continue to impact your BMR, which is your base metabolic rate. And if your goal truly is to shift your base metabolic rate, if you want to burn more calories at rest and you want to continue to shed fat and you want to do that while preserving muscle, you have to change your target over time. And that's where a coach can really come in, so that you don't have the guesswork, and it can be done for a season, and then you can sustain those results and start to shift your habits, including having more protein on your plate.
Yeah. The other thing about protein, you guys, is, and maybe Emmy said this and I was zoned out for a minute, which I tend to do sometimes, but protein also, the act of like taking in protein and digesting it and absorbing it and processing it, like what your body does naturally, that alone burns more calories than the processing and absorption of carbohydrates and fats. And so the simple act of just eating more protein burns more calories. And so that is another easy thing to do. Now, are we ready to jump into number 3? And I don't actually think number 3 is on the list, but I was just thinking about it because there is some truth to calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the list because I actually feel like it is not that important, but it is worth mentioning. Yeah. So
let's not count it as number 3 because then we won't have an even 10.
Okay, this is just extra information for you guys. So
sorry, I like things to be rounded out.
I had mentioned earlier that there may be some extras for you overachievers, and let's just count this as an extra, right? Because it is worth mentioning that calories in, calories out. If you are consuming more calories than you're burning, you're likely going to gain weight. If you are consuming fewer calories than what you are burning, wait, did I say that? If you are in a surplus, you are most likely going to gain weight or maintain possibly. If you are in a calorie deficit, then you are going to lose weight. Now, the problem with that whole philosophy and idea of thinking is, yes, it is true. That is very basic. However, if you are a chronic undereater, your base metabolic rate, your BMR, is going to adapt downward. And so, like, let's say I'm a person...
You will require less calories.
Yeah, to burn. And so, like, let's say I am who I am. I'm about 5'2". I weigh about 110 pounds. Let's say I only eat 1,000 calories. Well, my body is going to adapt. It is going to down-regulate my metabolism to those 1,000 calories, which means I won't require more than 1,000 calories necessarily, depending on what I'm doing. Instead, my body is going to slow down considerably. My digestive tract is going to slow down. Maybe I stop pooping every day. Maybe I stop having the energy I need to complete my workouts very well. All of these things will happen in a downward spiral to where my body doesn't have to work as hard to burn those calories, so that my body can absorb and hang on to
it goes into self-preservation mode
calories that I'm consuming in order to survive.
And then the problem, go ahead.
I was just going to say the problem with that is, so then let's say that my body is storing all of these calories as fat, because that tends to be what happens when your body is in survival mode. It's storing its energy. It's like, I need this energy storage for later on, because what if a lion comes in and tries to eat me? I need to be able to run away. And so what happens is then your body requires even fewer calories to lose weight. So let's say that I start gaining weight and I'm like desperately trying to lose this fat and lose this weight. I have to eat fewer calories, less than 1,000, because at
1,000 is already not enough.
So low, you guys. It is not enough. I'm a tiny person and I need more calories than that. Everybody, most people need more calories than that. And so then I'm required to eat like 800 calories in order to lose weight. And it's this horrible downward spiral of unhealth. And what people don't realize is our bodies were made to be healthy, feel strong, to feel energized. And in order to do that and to feel that way is you have to have the proper amount of fuel. So yes, calories in, calories out. Yeah, there's something to that. However, please be very careful with that.
Because the flip side of that is if you're eating that low of calories, let's say on the weekdays, and you're used to having this reduced calorie intake of, let's say, 1,000, 1,200 calories, whatever it may be, and then on the weekends you're having more, your body's going to take that extra and store it as even more fat. And so that is why we really like to see, where is a person at, what are your goals, and then not only the calories in, calories out, but we can actually impact your base metabolic rate as we slowly climb those calories, so that your body understands what's coming, and your metabolic threshold, your base metabolic rate, is going to start climbing with that consistent shift of calories, increase of calories, and shift of macros, so that you're burning more calories at rest. And while you're doing that, you're preserving muscle, and we can shed fat. And that's where the strategy of macros comes in.
And you're getting more energy because you're fueling your body more. And so you're able to do more, which burns more calories. Also, you guys, it's this beautiful, beautiful thing.
It also helps you get more deep restorative sleep when you're appropriately fueling your body. And the huge, 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 huge part, and we're going to talk about this more, is the support to your hormones. Because when you are under eating, you will have hormone dysregulation. And that is a myriad of symptoms, including it's a huge effect on your metabolism.
Yeah.
And we want hormone harmony, you guys. Like, nobody wants to live in a hormone hurricane, and a large majority of our clients come to us in a hormone hurricane. And when we can get them into hormone harmony, it is a wonderful, lovely, beautiful, exciting thing.
Yeah. So, side note, let's get back on track. Number 3.
Yes. Number 3 is less processed foods. Honestly.
Oh, man. So simple, you guys.
And actually, let's put number 3 and 4 together.
Oh, so that's perfect. So then mine actually does fit in.
Look out. So less processed foods and focusing more on non-inflammatory foods. That is huge for fat loss, you guys.
And the two go hand in hand. You guys, if you're buying food that is in a package, in a box, if you're buying it from the center of a grocery store, if it's not a whole food.
If you can't pronounce the ingredient.
Yeah, then it is processed, right?
Yeah.
Like even a hamburger patty that you're buying in like the stack of patties from wherever you're buying them from. Those are processed. It's processed food.
Stack of patties. I like that. It's like patty stack. That's something about that was really playful.
Anyway, if you're buying a stack of patties, it's processed. So think about it.
Patty stack.
Sounds
patty stack fit.
It's like patty cake and patty and Patty Shack.
Yeah,
like the golf
patty
movie
cake
and Patty Shack. Patty stack.
Patty stack. Patty stack.
Oh boy.
Sorry, you guys.
Let's get back. Let's come back to it.
She's gonna rein me in.
Okay, guys. So anyway, if you're buying food from the center of the grocery store, if it's coming in a box, if it's coming in a bottle, if it's coming in a package, it is most likely processed. And oftentimes, she's losing it big time. Oftentimes, those foods cause inflammation, and we want to move away from an inflammatory state and into a less inflammatory state, because inflammation, especially chronic inflammation, can cause a whole bunch of problems. You guys, we have an entire live on inflammatory foods, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
We have several.
Yeah.
You guys, here's what it comes down to. The most inflammatory foods are going to be anything processed, of course, dairy, grains, sugar, alcohol, and seed oils.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if you can look at minimizing or reducing or eliminating any of those things, you will have a lower level of chronic grade inflammation in your body. And we won't get off too much of a tangent, but acute inflammation is good, right? Sprain your ankle, you have acute inflammation. It's there for a reason. Yeah. But chronic inflammation is where you're from a cellular level, you are more inflamed throughout your body, and that is what leads ultimately to disease, to cellular mutation and to disease. Yeah. And that is where our society is going, and we don't want to go there because we want health and longevity and energy and hormone harmony. We don't want diabetes and cancer and death. So
simple as that, you guys. I mean, which one do you want? Which one do you want? I know which one I want. I know which one I want, and I know which one I don't want.
And it doesn't have to be that complicated.
Yeah,
like,
and we're not saying, you guys, we're not saying that it's the end all be all. Be super religious about what you eat. Like,
I eat bacon and chocolate almost every day. Bacon and chocolate almost every day.
She does. Yeah, she does. And I eat chocolate every day too. I'm not huge about bacon. Like I do like bacon, but I'm not eating bacon every day. Bacon is a treat. But there are other things. One thing, you guys, be careful. I hesitate to say this, but be careful about your salad dressings.
Yeah.
If you're buying bagged salads, like a salad kit, read. Okay, this is later on in the
oils
list.
are death.
Read. Golly, she is something else.
Patty stack. Death in a bottle.
Death in a bottle, you guys. This is not our intention. This is not where we were planning on going. But death in a bottle. Be careful about the salad dressings. This is where I was going. The salad dressings in your bagged salad. Just be aware of what kind of oil they're using. Yeah, she's hot. Beware of the kind of oil that they're using in those salad dressings, because most likely, especially the cheap salads, it's going to be a seed oil that you might not want to put in your body. Now, is it okay occasionally? Occasionally it's fine. Yes. If it's something that you're doing every single day and you're relying on that salad dressing for your main source of fats, you might want to reconsider that. That's all we're saying.
Because then if you go to the doctor and you get an HSCRP, high sensitivity C-reactive protein, which is going to measure your inflammatory levels in your body, they're going to be real high, and that's going to show that you are leading towards disease, and you don't want to do that. So you're going to want to reduce that number, and a great way to do that is to not consume a lot of death in a bottle.
Just going to say, otherwise your doctor's going to be like, are you drinking death in a bottle? Because you really need to knock that off.
Okay, we're going to rate it in.
Number 4. Sorry. Number 4. Oh, wait, number 3 and 4 were combined.
Oh,
this is a perfect lead-in, actually.
It's really positive.
Do you have your composure? Are you ready?
I'm
Can you
composed.
go? Okay, let's talk about it. Go.
Okay, healthy fats. You guys, we talked about fats earlier, and yes, it is easy. It is so easy for me to tap out my fat. Like, let me just tell you, I love me some fats. But fats are important, and a lot of people are afraid of them. And if you, especially women, men too, but especially women, you need to be consuming enough healthy fats, preferably at least 30% of your overall intake, to support hormone harmony. Like you really do.
And so, vitamin absorption, you guys, especially women, we need a certain amount of fat in order to absorb certain vitamins. A, D, E, and K are the vitamins that have to have fat in order to be absorbed. And so if you are eating like hardly any fat, like the low fat diet craze, you know, that went through in like the 90s, maybe that was the 80s, I don't know, where everything was low fat this, low fat that, and instead they added a bunch of salt and sugar. Like it's just not good.
No,
not good. You need fat.
You need healthy. I mean, honestly, and that you do. You need protein, you need fat, and you need healthy carbohydrates. And the healthy fats are going to be things like nuts in moderation, things like grass-fed butter, avocados, olive oil, coconut oil. Really,
coconuts, olives, all the things that are attached to the oils.
They're so important for our brain and for our hormones. And so anyways, just if you're afraid of fats, if you're afraid of any one of the macronutrients, like rethink that, because they all have their role. So far we've talked about tracking your food and knowing what you're eating. We talked about really prioritizing protein and understanding the role of protein.
Now, real quick on that note, you don't have to get your protein from animal proteins.
No.
We have lots of clients who are vegans, who are vegetarians, who do really well in our program, who get their protein from plants. And that is totally legit also. Their macro makeup might be a little bit different. You can laugh about that one. Are going to be a little bit.
Makeup pad stack.
It might be a little bit. It might be a little bit different than those people who do consume animal products for protein, but that's okay.
Number 3 and 4: less processed foods, less inflammatory foods, more non-inflammatory foods. We then talked about number 5, which is healthy fats, and we're moving on to number 6.
I think we've actually already talked about number 6 a bit, but we can talk about it again.
Making sure that your macros are set for your goals. Just because you see somebody on the internet that publishes what they eat in a day, or what their macro split looks like, or how many calories they consume, you are not them. We are all made very, very, very differently. I can have...
Let's take us for example.
Yeah, let's take us for example.
Let's take us, because we, Emmy and I, we are very similar, you guys. We are very similar.
A lot of similarities, and we have a lot of differences.
Yeah, Emmy's a little bit taller than me. I'll give her that.
I'm 5'3", she's 5'2".
Yeah, she's a little bit taller than me.
I'm 5'3 and a half. I like that half.
We are very similar. We work out the same. We have very similar eating habits. We eat very similarly. However, her body is built differently than mine. I can't consume as many calories as Emmy can. Her body burns more calories than mine does at rest, and that's okay. If I ate the same as Emmy did at every single meal, my body would look different than it does right now, and that's okay. And so if I were to just go along and follow what she's doing and do everything exactly the way she's doing, I wouldn't necessarily meet my goals. And so instead, I have to know what is right for me. We exercise the same. We eat similar foods. We're similar size. We do similar activities on the weekends. Like we are our lives, like it really doesn't get much more similar than the two of us. But we are so different, and the way our bodies process food is much different than the other person. And that's okay.
And that has a lot to do with our hormonal makeup, with our cellular makeup. Like we are all different from a bio-individuality standpoint. And we can have clients with very similar lifestyles having very different plans, like very, very different plans. And so it also depends where a person starts. Like we might have a client that comes in that is 150 pounds, that is wanting to preserve muscle or build some muscle and shed some fat, and they're only eating 1,000, 1,200 calories when they start. We're not going to start them much higher than that. We're going to slow roll them. We might have another client, exact same weight, same lifestyle. Maybe they're, moving their body the same amount, and they're already eating 1,700 to 1,800 calories a day. We're going to start them in a very different place. And so, I'm sorry, my son's in the background. And so anyways, just don't play the game of comparison, because if you saw what somebody was doing, or if you went in MyFitnessPal and put your stats in there, it's going to use a formula based off of your gender, your height, your weight, your activity level, and it's going to spit out something. Well, if it spits out 1,700 calories with a 40-30-30 split, and you're only eating 1,200 calories right now, you're going to start eating that, you're going to start gaining weight. It's based off of your BMR, but everybody's BMR is different because there are so many factors that influence it.
Yeah, so get yourself a coach.
Yeah, do it.
All right, let's move on because we're keeping this short and sweet. Oh, yeah, this is a good one, you guys. More water. Is this number 7? 7-ish.
Yeah.
More water. It's so simple. It seems so simple, yet it's so hard for so many people. You guys, we are a dehydrated human race. Just for the majority of us, we are dehydrated. If you're not drinking... What was that?
I was trying to think of a rhyme with hydration. Like, take a hydration vacation, but it's not like...
No. You don't want to take a hydration vacation.
no. I was thinking of it like... Anyways, keep going, sorry.
Like Patty Stack. She's trying to come up with another one that works with Patty Stack. Mm-hmm. Anyway, if you're not drinking at least half your... She's so clear when she's thinking, you guys. If you're not drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water every single day, you are dehydrated. And there are lots of ways. I remember as a kid... She's still thinking about it. When you see her lips move?
Don't fodder with your water.
Oh, boy.
Drink your water like your daughter. Do yours.
This is going downhill so quickly. So, you guys, there have been a million different little wives' tales out there about, like, how do you know when you're dehydrated? Like, is your pee really yellow? That is a sign of dehydration.
That might just be your vitamins.
It might be your vitamins, too. What kind of vitamins are you taking? I take a vitamin B in what my body does not absorb. I pee out, and it is neon yellow, you guys.
How is your energy? That's a big factor.
What about your skin? Do you tend to have really dry skin?
What
about your lips?
Your nails?
Are you licking your lips constantly? Do you constantly reach for your chapstick? When I'm fully hydrated, I do not need chapstick. It is the number one tell for me when I'm dehydrated is that I'm addicted to my chapstick.
Do you have good bowel regularity? Are you pooping regularly?
That's later on in the list, too.
I know, but it has to do with water.
But it has to do with water, yeah. You guys, water is crucial. It's one of our 5 pillars of nutrition is hydration. And if you're not getting enough, you are doing yourself a disservice because if you are an American person, it's most likely that you have access to fresh drinking water.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking advantage of that.
If you want dewy, glowy skin and lips with this shiny hair like Haley, you should drink your water.
Yeah. And you can hire Emmy to be your voiceover for any other commercial needs that you have. So yes, drink water, you guys. Do it. Drink your water. In fact, right now, drink your water. Now, this is fizzy water. It's still water. And some coaches, ours included, have differing perspectives on whether fizzy water actually counts towards your overall water goal. Yeah. I allow myself 1 bubbly a day. Uh-oh. Instagram is paused. I allow myself 1 bubbly a day, 1 fizzy water a day. And I do count this towards my water goals because I'm not overdoing it. Now, if I only drank fizzy water during the day, then I would need to switch that up because that's a lot of carbonation going into my body.
I drink too much fizzy water, but I don't allow myself to start drinking it until after 1 o'clock.
So the girlfriend can pound the bubblies.
If I could just drink that all day, I would. But I do drink regular water in the morning with my electrolytes.
Yeah, she drinks that like literally. Like I've been sipping on that can for like half an hour, and
I probably could get 5 in that time
at least. Yeah, she's mighty.
You guys, I apologize for my behavior today. It might be a little much.
This is the first time we've had an apology on here.
Yeah, well, I'm a little much today, but I'm having fun, so there's that.
It's a great day.
Okay. I
didn't talk about that.
And we already talked about this from an inflammatory standpoint, but you guys, one of the biggest things that you can do from a fat loss, fat attack standpoint, is to reduce your alcohol intake. And I know that's an unpopular opinion. And yes, our clients absolutely can still have alcohol. They can fit it in, they can pre-track it, they can work around it. But the bottom line is the way that your body processes the alcohol, it's going to be really difficult if you consistently consume alcohol to aggressively shed fat. It just is.
Yep.
And on the note of hydration, almost for every single one of these, we have a tool on our website. If you go to macromavens.life and you click the toolbox, there are so many free tools there, including a hydration overview with tips and tricks to try to increase your water. We've also done a whole live on it. So we have something on like every topic. So it's all there. We just wanted to give a quick 10 count rundown. So we just finished.
So less alcohol, more water. Number 8. Ooh, one of my favorites, more fiber. You guys, fiber does not get enough credit. If you are tracking your macros and you are only counting net carbs, you are doing yourself a disservice because fiber is crucial, and we don't want to discount the fiber that is in the carbohydrates that we are eating.
And you want soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And we won't spend a ton of time on it, but you can once again go to macromavens.life. You can click the little toolbox button, and there's a whole overview on fiber, what types of foods to eat to get more fiber, as well as if you need to supplement. We really do want our clients, once again, it totally differs. We use around 25 grams a day as a benchmark, but if you're lower in calories, it's going to be harder to get that. If you're higher in calories, you should be getting more than that. Everybody needs a little bit different. If you have some GI stuff going on, you know, we need to work around fiber sometimes with clients. We can do that too. But bottom line is, fiber is going to help you in your fat loss goals, and it's going to help with your digestion. And you should be pooping every single day, at least once a day, if not multiple times. You absolutely should. And if you are not, then you should reassess, because it's a beautiful thing. And I've even had clients send me pictures of their poop. So there's that.
I will never ask for a picture of your poop without your permission.
I did not ask.
If you want to send me, if you're a client of mine.
Let me give a little backstory.
Would you please? Okay.
Not like, hey, I pooped today, here's a picture. It was more like we were talking about
That's inappropriate.
Yeah, we were talking about their gut health, and I had sent a picture.
Of your poop?
No, I sent a picture of like different types of poop and what it can typically mean, like if it's black and tarry, if it's seedy, if it's nubby, like all those sorts of things. And so they said, hey, is this weird if I send you a picture of my poop? I'm like, not at all. Because that stuff doesn't weird me out.
Honestly.
It wasn't weird. I probably shouldn't have brought it up. But hey, like, for me, more information the better.
No, and I agree. If you're one of my clients and you want to send me a picture of your poop and you want me to analyze it for you from a nutrition standpoint, I'm happy to do that. But let's talk about, because this is a good lead in. So fiber helps you poop, and pooping is really important. The next one on our list, as far as like dropping and shedding fat, is making sure that you are pooping every day. You guys, it is like, pooping is super important. If you're not pooping, let's just think about it real quick. Let's say that you eat an entire day's worth of food and you consume it, and your body absorbs all of the nutrients and everything that it can from the food that you're eating, and then it doesn't poop out the waste. And you step on the scale the next morning and you're like, oh my gosh, I just gained 2 pounds overnight.
You just have a food baby in your belly.
Yeah, or in your intestines, or wherever that's sitting.
In colon.
Yeah, and so it can really, if you're not pooping every day, it is giving you a false weight.
False reading.
And especially if you are somebody who only poops like every few days. I have a couple clients who only poop every few days, and I'm like, whoa, we got to get this figured out, because what happens is their weight goes up and up and up and up for a few days, which is terrifying to somebody who's wanting to lose weight, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden they poop and the weight goes down, the scale goes down. It's a huge drop. And I'm like, what is happening? And so then I get on the horn and I'm like, this is so interesting. You know, I see that your weight, it climbs up for 3 days and then it drops. And then I find out like, oh, well, you only poop once a week or every 5 days or whatever it is. And I'm like, we got to get this figured out. You got to move your body. You got to drink your water. You need to eat your fiber. Those 3 things can help you poop every single day. Now, some people have the opposite problem where they're pooping multiple times a day, which I don't know. I actually like that. I like to clean my body out as often as I possibly can.
But if you're having to use colonics and or coffee enemas or whatever it may be to stay regular, like those things are not bad by any means. They have their place for sure. But if you're using those because you can't be regular otherwise, then there are some things that you can do that will really, really help you. And it's not just for the weight reading. Like there's a lot of other things that happen within your body when you are allowing yourself and setting yourself up for that regularity.
Yeah, you don't want the waste to sit in your body. You want to get the waste. You want to rid yourself of the waste.
You do. Honestly, there's even a tie-in with hormones. Like, I mean, there's a whole line we could go down with that. But
yeah, okay. We actually have a little video on our YouTube channel all about pooping. So
yeah, and she's real funny in it. Like she is full of it.
Just see what she did there, guys.
Okay, so the next one is and okay, let me just give a little bit of backstory here. We don't want things to be overcomplicated by any means. And so we don't want people to be like, oh, I can't eat until this time and I have to eat this first and da-da-da-da-da. Like bottom line is like, balance and awareness, right?
Yeah.
But there is something to the order in which you eat your food. Even my boys, my youngest especially, has like really been paying attention to this, because if you're really hungry and you go and you start with your carbohydrates, not that carbohydrates are bad, especially complex carbohydrates, but what's going to happen is if you do that on an empty stomach, you're going to have a glucose spike. That's going to have an insulin response. That is going to have a blood sugar response. That could really mess with your hormones and your metabolism and your ability to store and or shed fat.
And it'll cause you to crave more sweets and more simple carbohydrates later on in the day also.
So the simplest thing you can do is when you start eating, whether it be a meal or a snack, simply start with your fats and your proteins first, and then follow up with your carbohydrates, because what that's going to do is going to keep your blood sugar balanced, and you're not going to get those spikes and those dips. You're not going to have that afternoon crash, and you're not going to have the whole myriad cascade that can happen with your glucose and your blood sugar and your insulin. And so the simple act of just eating protein and fats first and then following it up, we got a little levy on that one, following it up with your carbohydrates is going to allow for better satiety.
I'm going to make her say satiation.
Satiation. It's real hard today. Anyway, so
take a satiation vacation.
It can be super simple. There's a follow on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, for you Facebook folks, called the Glucose Goddess. And I love her because she gives these really cool graphs of showing eating the same foods but in a different order, what it's doing to your blood sugar, and then what happens with that. And so if you're not following her, Glucose Goddess, absolutely consider it.
Yeah, give her a follow. Also, starting your meals with, like what Emmy said, protein and fats or complex carbs. Complex carbs are fine. So vegetables, that's great. You don't want to start your meal. And so, like, we have it backwards in the U.S. Yeah. We have it backwards in a lot of places.
You go to a restaurant, you get bread or chips.
You get bread, you get chips, and it's just like, and actually, that's smart business.
Yeah, because it
just keeps you eating, right? Yeah. And same thing, like if you're really hungry, it's really easy to want to reach for like crackers or something that's quick, which it typically is a simple carbohydrate. So
also, if you're at a restaurant and you order a drink before your food comes, like if it's a sugary drink, it's gonna derail you. So try to have your water and then have your alcoholic beverage or whatever it may be with your food.
Yeah, throw a stick of jerky in your purse or something.
Pull it out.
Some broccoli. I don't know. Sorry.
You can take a flask with bone broth in it.
Or a bottle. I mean, you don't necessarily have to put your bone broth in a flask.
I just think that's fun. I'm going to start doing that.
I was just going to say, next thing you know, we're going to go out. We're going to do like a menu with the Mavens. And she's going to pull out a flask full of bone broth. I'm going to do it. Stay tuned, guys.
Okay, so this is another thing that can be helpful as far as depending on what your goals are and if they're for fat loss. Sorry, guys. Look at that. Hello there, little hair. That is eating higher volume, lower calorie foods, especially if you are strategically in some form of a deficit. If you go to macromavens.life, you click on the toolbox, we have a form called Mix and Match, and at the bottom of that is a whole section of higher volume, lower calorie foods. And those are just going to be things that are going to fill you up faster, that don't have as much of a calorie punch. Not that calories are bad, it depends on where you're at and what you're consuming, but that can be a big time helper. Those were our 10. We're going to go back here in a minute and just go, but we have some bonus. We're going to do our bonus.
There are a few bonus numbers on there, you guys. If you're trying to shed fat, a really great thing to do is start picking up heavy things and setting them down. Resistance training, you guys. Start exercising. Move your body. If you move your body, if you lift weights, you are naturally burning more calories. If you find that you're in the office and you're like feeling sluggish and slow and your brain isn't functioning, get up and move your body. Do some jumping jacks, do some squats. Sometimes we'll be like super rummy, and if we go out and go for a walk, all of a sudden we have all of these amazing ideas.
We'll be doing that after this.
I didn't bring shoes. Well, anyway, hold on. We're not done talking about this yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to lift weights. We are going to increase our muscle mass, which is going to burn more calories, and you are going to feel better for it in the long run and the short run. Actually, it is so good for your mental health, guys. So get up and move your body.
And if you are in a sedentary job, like Haley said this, getting up, set an alarm at the top of every hour. Stand up, do some jumping jacks, do some squats, walk around the office. Make sure that you get some movement in the morning. Try to prioritize your lunch hour so that you can move a little bit. Try to do an after dinner stroll. Like the more like she's talking about lifting weights, which is so important. Resistance training for muscle preservation and building is so important, but also low intensity, steady state movement. It's called LISS, and you want a lot of LISS.
A lot of LISS.
Because the more you are just moving your body, that's why we try to really work with our clients and increasing their step counts. It makes all the difference in terms of your BMR throughout the day. It just does.
It absolutely does. Also, surround yourself, the next one, I'm just going to jump right to it. Surround yourself with people who support you. And that is so important, you guys. If you are surrounding yourself with people who don't support your lifestyle and your goals, so let's say that you are trying to quit drinking alcohol, and you go out with people who you are normally social drinkers with, and they are razzing you and giving you a hard time because you are not drinking. Maybe they're not your close friends.
Especially if you can say, hey guys, for a season, I'm just trying to figure out what makes me feel my best, and I'm gonna reduce my alcohol for a bit. They should be like, good on you.
Yeah, totally. Like, I wish I was like you, you know? And so anyway, surround yourself with people who support your goals. If you are working towards a specific goal and the people in your life are like not into that, then get new people in your life, because life is too short to not have a support system surrounding you. Like her, like this girl. Everybody needs a hype girl or a hype boy or hype people or cheerleaders who are cheering you on and helping you get to your goals.
Absolutely. And, you know, some people I recognize don't have naturally that built-in support system. And it's definitely something you can work on building, but that's also where a coach can come in sometimes, you guys. Like, we are here to support you in all areas and to be your accountability partner and to work through
and to
some
be
of
your
those
hype
hard
girls.
Things. Totally. Like,
we make good hype girls. We want to hype you up. We want to support you guys in your goals.
We want to hype you up. Okay. Next one.
Let's wrap.
Eat slower.
Oh.
Just eat slower.
Yeah. Put your fork down in
You
between
guys,
your bites.
I eat so fast. I have my whole life. Well, maybe not my whole life. Maybe my whole life, but especially post kids. Because when you have kids, like mine are, we didn't have kids until later in life, but like mine are 10 and 13 now.
Amanda, you won our contest.
Oh, she just joined on.
Amanda, we're sending you a gift card for Outsider for $10 because you won our contest earlier. So
yay! Yay! My son says, "Can I?"
wait. He says, "Don't read it out loud."
I can't see it, honey. Yeah. Okay. So the last one is no. Yes. She says no way for you Facebook people. Yeah, we drew you out of a bowl, and you, for your answer on our guesses, you win a $10 Outsider coffee card. So we'll shoot it over to you.
And you were right. Water. You're right. That was one of our 10.
Okay, so anyways, we were on some of our bonus material, which I was on Eat Slower. Like when post-kids, when you have babies in your hands and you're trying to get your food in, you just shovel it in, right? You do what you can. Well, sometimes we never stop doing that. And so if we can just all be a little bit more aware as to the speed in which we're eating, if we can slow down and take a bite and fully chew it and swallow it before we have our next bite, it is amazing what that will do, because our body and our brain don't often know you're full until minutes after your last bite, like sometimes 20 minutes after your last bite. It really depends on the individual. And so if you're staying in tune with your fullness factor and your satiety as you go, it can make a big difference. And that, like us Americans, we rush through everything, right? Including meals. And you look at a lot of other cultures that really take their time through a meal. Not only is the connection really important that you can have when you are breaking bread around a table together, but also just what that does in terms of the slow go of ingesting your food and the digestion benefits that come from that. So eating slower.
Yeah, set your fork down in between every bite. I remember my mom telling me that as a kid, like, Haley, set your fork down. And I was like, why would I ever do that? Yeah. And it's just like, it slows you down. Somebody else said, I remember as a kid, they say, to chew,
story behind that.
To chew your food, like, what is it? Like 30 times or is it 90 times?
I don't know.
Chew your food a lot.
I don't like they say, because it's like,
who are they? Yeah.
She said that to me this morning.
And she got mad at me.
I didn't get mad. I was just like, well,
yeah, you did get mad.
It wasn't,
she wasn't angry.
Mad. I don't
she
get
got
mad.
Spicy.
I was like, well, who are they? Because they don't know what they're talking about.
She didn't like what they had to say. Anyway, they say that you should chew your food more, and I agree with them. We should
whoever
probably,
they are.
whoever they are, we should chew our food more.
I just like to cite sources, reputable sources.
She is so full of it, you guys.
Okay. So we're going to wrap this up. You guys, thank you for sticking with us today, especially me. I know I am a little much today.
I was like on like a line drive all day, and she was like on this little...
She is impressive today.
Yeah.
Then there's me. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick wrap up though.
Let's do it.
Because there are definitely more than these 10 things, for sure. But these are the ones that we wanted to point out.
Yeah.
Track your food. Know what you're eating. Prioritize your protein. Less processed foods, less inflammatory foods.
More whole foods.
More healthy fats. Making sure your macros are set to your goals and that those shift and that you're not using a one-time calculator and that you have somebody that is strategically in your corner if you don't know what you're doing. That is so important. More water, less alcohol, more fiber. Make sure you are pooping every single day. If you are not, increase your water, increase your fiber, move your body. And then making sure that you are eating your protein and your fats first so that you're not getting that immediate glucose spike from your carbohydrates if you're eating on an empty stomach. High volume foods that have a lower calorie punch for satiation. The bonus material is to eat slower, to lift weights, to hang out with people that support you. We didn't mention this, but getting good, deep, restorative sleep. Macromavens.life. Toolbox page, deep restorative sleep overview. It is there for you. It is so important.
If you are not sleeping well, you are not going to be able to shed fat like you want to. It is simple, period, point blank. Drink your water, eat whole foods, know what you're eating, get good sleep. You guys,
move your body.
Move your body.
Have good stress resiliency.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that one, but they go into our 5 pillars, right? Like we talk about this all the time. Yes, we are first and foremost nutrition coaches, and we want to work on strategically getting your nutrition in check because it will change your life. It will change your life. But there's so much more to it, and that is where we really want to try to set ourselves apart in terms of like, we want the whole picture, right? We want all of it for you. And that is where our pillars come in. That's going to be deep restorative sleep. It's going to be staying hydrated. It's going to be getting adequate fiber. It's going to be moving your body. It's going to be becoming more stress resilient. It's going to be becoming less inflamed, like really reducing chronic inflammation. Oh, thank you so much. Deanne says, you guys are awesome. I get so many tips from you guys. Thank you. We're so, so thankful. And thanks for hanging with us today, especially me.
Yeah, so you guys, we've done enough talking. If you are curious about what we provide at Macromavens, you can head over to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button, fill out the little questionnaire, and a coach will reach out to you. It doesn't commit you to anything. All it does is start a conversation to see if we're a good fit for you, if you're a good fit for us, all of those things. Yeah. Also, it's our 2-year anniversary, and we're super excited to have a crazy good giveaway going on right now.
Over $500 worth of amazing stuff.
We talked about it at the very beginning of this live, and then also we're throwing back our prices for a very short amount of time. You guys have a couple more days to get in on that. If you're wanting to sign up for the 3 or the 6 month program, now is the time to do it. What else?
If you guys can come up,
oh boy, she's about to give something away.
If you guys can come up with a really fun song using Patty Stack.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you'll have to go back and listen.
I want to hear a little ditty. If you can come up with a song using Patty Stack, I will fully give you a cool prize.
She will fully give you a cool prize. So let that be motivation for you guys.
Patty Stack.
Yeah.
Patty Stack.
Okay, we need to wrap this up. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Amanda, we will get you your prize. In fact, maybe I'll just drop it off at your house. So have a great one, you guys. Come back next week for more goodness.
More Patty Stack.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See ya.